All right, good. So we're working. All right, good. There's a technological curve for me, so I had to make sure. Hey Keith, how you doing, man? Awesome, I did it. I was able to get in. Can you guys hear me well? The volume good and everything, and you can see me? Cool. All right, good. So yeah, we'll just let everybody kind of get settled for a second, and then I'll get rolling with everything. So just let me know. Always give me feedback on the. Yo, Matt, what's up, man? Good to see all you guys. Cool. Volume's good. Everything's cool. Awesome. Very cool. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. I hope you guys are doing well. You know, I'm glad. Thank you, Heather, for having me. It's awesome that you're doing this whole thing. I went back and watched Jesse's live stream, and I watched Duncan's live stream too. So it was really cool. This is awesome, and now is the perfect time for this. So thank you for putting that all together. So yeah, we'll do we'll just I've never done one of these before, but we'll do like a Q&A, I guess, if you guys want to ask any questions at all. I'll play some tunes. You know, I'm really a drummer. And I kind of write these. I did record a lot of the parts in the studio, but you know, it's like on guitar and keyboard and things like that, and vocals, but it's a lot easier when you have like as many takes as you need. You got all night to do it. But I'll play some guitar and I'll play some keyboard. We had actually we had a acoustic unplugged set we were working because we were supposed to play a show in Connecticut with the guys in Solemn Vision and Sunseeker and a few other bands, and it didn't work out. A couple of the guys, you know, it was right when the quarantine kind of came. Right before it, really. So we decided the whole band wasn't really committed to it, understandably. So we thought we would do an acoustic set, and we actually had a really nice trio, and it was with our new keyboard player and a dude who's just a friend of mine who happens to play guitar, and he plays really well. He just doesn't pursue music as a craft, but he's good. So I said, let's put together a little unplugged set, and it was sounding really nice. And then everything started getting really hairy, so we kind of put it off. But we're gonna do that eventually, and we're gonna put it up on YouTube. We might do a live thing, or we might just put it up on YouTube. But it was a little bit like, I love the Alice in Chains Unplugged and Eric Clapton Unplugged. Those two Unplugged series or albums influenced me a lot. Even the Nirvana one, I do like the Nirvana one too. So we kind of had that kind of vibe going on, and it sounded really good, at least to my ears. So as soon as things get back to normal, I think we'll put that up and we'll do that. So hey Rachel, how are you? Good to have everybody on board. Awesome. So yeah, I'll play a few tunes. I'll stumble through them. I'm not really like. So what I've been doing recently is I've just been writing the next album, which is cool. I was ready to do that anyway. I was really antsy to get moving with that. So this is in a way there's always a silver lining to everything. So yeah, same Keith, you like those unplugged albums. I think that's maybe what you were talking about. So it's been cool. It's been a little daunting because I have so much material collected over the last 2 to 3 years that it's since I wrote the last album, that it's looking like it's like 2 albums or something like that, or 2 albums and like 2 different EPs. I'm trying to figure that out. But so far I got about 50 minutes worth of music written, and there's still a lot of material that's not used yet. So that's a good problem to have. But yeah, I'm going to stumble through all this stuff tonight. I'm really just a drummer, but I don't think anybody wants to hear a 25-minute drum solo. Or maybe you do, I don't know. But I've been mostly playing guitar, and I've been lucky to teach at a school of rock. And luckily I've kept almost all my students online virtually. So I still work a lot. So I still have my regular schedule, which is good. And I have income. So I'm lucky. Because a lot of people obviously don't. So I've been busy teaching and then just writing a lot. So I'll play a couple tunes. Some of it's new stuff, and then I'll play at least one or two old songs, or old. You know, we released the album back in July. So, you know, but all those tunes are really old. I mean, I wrote them when I was a teenager, a lot of them. Some of them are brand new, but some of them were written when I was a teenager. And I, just in case you guys don't know the backstory, it was 2009. I just got into college and I had my own home studio set up. And Gates of the Morning, I finally settled on a name for the project. And it was going to be very much like a second wave black metal, symphonic kind of black metal thing, like think like Emperor and the Nightside Eclipse or Enslaved stuff. And I got halfway through the project. I thought it sounded pretty good. It was more raw than Gates of the Morning is now, but that was 2009, right? So halfway through the project, the drums were already done. Most of the guitars were done. And it just, all the files got corrupted. I am not a computer guy. I struggled to even set this up. So all the files got deleted and it was pretty devastating. So then after that, I just said, you know what, I was trying to go to school for jazz, which I ultimately did, but that took a lot of work. So I was like, I can't be focused on writing a black metal album right now. So some of the riffs from 2009 are on Return to Earth. Which was cool. I was glad I want, some of them I really liked and I wanted to put them on there. So you could guess there's one song that's entirely from 2009 and then the rest of it is like a little bit sprinkled in. So yeah, so I'll play a couple tunes. Why don't I start off, I'll play a tune. I just kind of started rehearsing it today. I was like, oh shit, let me see if I remember this. Let me go turn the amp on, but it's we'll do Crossing the Abyss. That's one that I can, I think I could stumble through it. So yeah, let's give it a shot. Let's try it out. Let's see. So I think on the next album, some of these riffs are, I'll be glad to pass them on to the guitarists that I work with, Mark Glazer and John Lopez. Yeah, some of it, I think they'll have a bigger role on this album in the studio. They definitely will. And I'll be happy to pass off some of the new stuff I've been writing onto them. I could play it to a demo, but they can play it a lot nicer than I can. All right, so this is Crossing the Abyss. This is off of Return to Earth. Hold on. Cool. So that was Crossing the Abyss. It's been a while since I played that. I tried to break it out a little bit this morning and shake some of the rust off, but that's cool. I do like the ending of that song. I did plan on doing some songs like keyboard or piano renditions of some of these tunes and kind of have them as like a sort of a like a lullaby album, I almost call it. So some of the guitar riffs translate well to keyboards, and then I had my buddy Anthony Gobiel, who lives in LA now. He's from Jersey. He moved out to LA, but he did all these parts, the keyboard parts on the album, where we split the duties. He did about half of them, and I just knew we grew up listening to the same music. We loved all the black symphonic black metal stuff. He was always a keyboard player. Thank you, Keith. And he kind of just like intuitively knows exactly what I want to hear. So he wrote most, I'd say a little more than half the album, and then I just filled in on the rest on keyboard. And it'll probably be the same way next time. And then we have on keyboard, we had Aidan Mcavoy, I went to college with her. I was in the jazz department. She was in, I think, the classical department, and she played harp on the record. She played harp on Chapel Perilous, one of the tracks off the record. And then one day I just put out an ad saying, hey, we need a keyboard player. And she said, oh, I would love to do it. And I kind of forgot that she even played keyboards. I always thought of her as a a harpist, right? So she ended up doing live keyboard for us for 2 tours. I'm really grateful. She did an excellent job, and she got to help get the band off the ground. And now she's doing her solo stuff. So I have this guy, a longtime friend, Mike Dersh. He's going to be filling in, doing the live keyboards. But for the next album, it'll be kind of me and my buddy Anthony out in LA. I could just send him stuff, and he just knows what to do. So it's cool to have that kind of musical telepathy with these guys. It's really good. Cool. So I have been writing a ton of stuff. Like I said, a lot of it's the way I've been writing is for the last couple of years though, with this material is anytime I feel the itch, or if I just pick up the instrument, I hit record. And thank you, Rachel. Thanks. Yeah. I just kind of just hit record. And then what happens is I have about 200 videos and voice memos I've been going through. And it's a little daunting. I think the next time, it's cool, but I think for the next, I'm going to move on and just like write an album. It's going to be much easier that way. So I've been going through all these 200 videos and seeing which ones connect. And there's a lot of common threads. Like some of the stuff I wrote 2 years ago connects to some of the stuff I wrote now perfectly. And that's not intentionally. It's just kind of the way it worked out. So it's music, musical magic, right? But yeah, so I've been writing a lot of stuff, not memorizing it. So for the last few days, I've been trying to memorize. So I have a section of a new song that I will play for you guys, or I'll stumble through it. And it will sound much different when the final result, I would imagine. But this is what I got so far. So, when you listen to the album, whenever the hell it comes out, hopefully soon. I'm trying to move along as fast as possible, but you can say you heard it here first. So I'm just going to play a snippet of it. Well, it's kind of a long snippet, but it's a long song. So I'm just going to play what I hope I remember. Well, let's see. Cool. So that's a snippet of a song. I don't have a name for it yet. I call it Roll Tide. I don't know why. That's the Alabama's football motto. I don't know what made me think of it. It just kind of has like it has a flow to it, I guess. I don't know. I came up with all kinds of weird shit for the names, the working titles of these songs. I think, let me see what I have so far. I have Food for the Gods, Colors, Roll Tide, Gods of War. Yeah, all kinds of weird shit. That probably won't be the actual names until the album's actually put out. But yeah, that's a little snippet of a new song, some new material. And you guys feel free to ask any questions about anything. Thanks, Heather. I'm excited about the new album. It's gonna be cool. It's material. It's just it's necessary for me. Roll Tide. It's necessary for me to get this stuff off my chest. It's just therapy for me, and I'm lucky enough that it has an audience. No matter how small it is, it's still people appreciate it. So I thank you guys. Cool. So yeah, I'm excited about the new album. I have and like I said, feel free to ask any questions. I'll answer almost anything. So I this next song, I'm gonna play it on acoustic, and I really shouldn't because it's really not together. Oh, what am I drinking? I have where did I put the can? It's a Meltdown by oh shit. I've been drinking it this whole quarantine. I should know. Meltdown by 6 Point, I think. Yeah, it's 6 Point. The 6 Point really does nothing wrong, so it's good. It's a double IPA. It's nice. It's like it's like drinking orange juice. And my classic Jets mug. I know Rachel, you'll love that. Big football fan. So yeah, so the next song I'll play, which I shouldn't play on acoustic because it's gonna be really rough. One thing I've noticed, I've talked to all different guitarists. I've been talking to everybody, and one thing we all have in common right now is that all our guitars really need setups and they need new strings. And I'm not really a guitarist, so I'm like really bad with that stuff. But I have like, I have 1, 2, 3 guitars, technically 4. All of them are from my uncles who have passed away, 2 different uncles, strangely enough. And I love them. I would obviously trade the guitars and a lot more for them to be here right now, of course. But they did leave me with some nice guitars. And but the nice Les Paul Studio I have is missing a high E string. The Gibson I'm playing on is like playing on barbed wire. The acoustic is even worse. It has some frets that don't even work. But that's something we're all facing right now. I'd love to go out and get all my guitars set up right now, but that's like impossible, obviously. So yeah, hazy IPA from Revolution Brewing. I'm surprised I haven't had that yet. Yeah, and this is Keith. This is even if you're not an IPA fan, it's not too like offensive. It's not doesn't have too much bite, so it's nice. I've been drinking a lot of wine, trying to stay off of beer, but today was a beer day, so I'll play you one more song from the new album that has no name or anything yet. This one, I swear to God, this is true. I woke up. I've been having really wild dreams lately. I was having a dream about maybe a little over a month and a half ago, and I was at a concert. I don't know who I was seeing, and I was with somebody. I think it was my girlfriend was next to me, somebody. And the dream is very vague, but this song came into my head in between bands. And this vocal melody came to me, and I said, holy shit. I said to the person who I was next to in the dream, I said, this is going to be the next Jets, Jets. I said to the person in my dream, I was like, this is going to be the next Gates of the Morning song. And somehow I woke up with the melody still in my head. And I lied in bed for a long time too. I could have easily lost it. But I came downstairs, and I'm not good at putting chords to, I'm really just a drummer, honestly. That's what I feel like. But never so fast did I put chords to a vocal melody in my life. So it was kind of meant to be. So I'm leaving out the vocal. I'm not going to sing. I didn't write the lyrics yet. I have the vocal melody. But, but I wrote down the chord progression. I played it on piano at first, but then it sounded better on guitar. So I'll play you the guitar chord progression that went with this melody that I literally dreamt up and somehow remembered it. And I never remember dreams. So it's meant to be. I think it'll sound cool when I hand it over to one of my guitarists to play and I actually put vocals and it all comes together. But I'll stumble through it. And then I see, yeah, he wrote, yeah, no, there's something about a broken acoustic it's getting my chops up. That's for sure. And then Brad, how long does it take to come up writing with a new song? Sometimes it's weird. Like I said, like with this one, I just came up with it came to me in a dream, literally, and that doesn't happen often. And basically, I kind of wrote the bridge, and there might be more added to it. And then the other ones are what I've been doing is just been piecing together. It's all been piecemeal. I basically record myself anytime I pick up an instrument, and if something good comes out, I save the video, and then I start to piece all the themes together. So really, it takes a long time to. I write tons of riffs. I write like a riff a day at least, but it takes a long time to arrange it. So hopefully in the future, I'll just be able to sit down and just write an album, and then it's not like I have to look through, like I said, sifting through 200 videos and trying to jigsaw it all together. So yeah, this is kind of like I have a vision for this. It won't all be necessarily on acoustic. It'll have drums and some electrified guitar, but I'll stumble through it here. I'll play it. What the hell? Cool. So yeah, that's the tune more or less. Will be rearranged, and that's one I'll definitely have a different guitar player play. That's just not my style, but I know if I hand it off to somebody else, one of my guys, they'll know exactly what to do with it. So it's cool. And the vocal melody was really the thing that helped me come up with the song. Then I just put the chords to it, and the chords are nice. It's like if you're into music theory, I'll go into that a little bit. It's a A major into a C major 7, into a D major. There might be a 7 somewhere in there, and then into an F major 7 with a 9 in it. So it's nice chords. I like the chords. Even if I played them on piano, they sound really nice. So that one came in a dream. That sounds like a stereotype, but thank you guys. Yeah, the chord changes are nice. All right, I like them. Yeah, and and thank you, Brad. It's if you listen to the album, it's cool, and I wasn't really concerned with this, but it got really good reception. And one of the things that was loved about it, and then sometimes the one criticism we got, or no, one of them was we're all over the place. We have a wide range of sound. I like that. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon either. And I understand why people would feel that way. But yeah, we're all over the place. And this album will be no exception. And what might happen is, because I have so much material, it's very possible that I might do something like Opeth did with Deliverance and Damnation, where they have one really fucking heavy album and then one really just totally different dynamic level, kind of mellow. There's still drums and a lot of things going on. So that might happen. I might have like an EP that's similar to Damnation, and then a full length that's more like, Deliverance, so to speak, just to give you the heavy compared to light sort of analogy. So that might happen. It's going to be interesting how I figure out how to, arrange all this material. And, I would love to just release it all at once, but that's not, told that's not smart to do. So, and it's not, I should space things out a little bit, but we'll see. Yeah, no, yeah, right. When I play it on acoustic, that could be any style of music, right? That could be, I don't know many indie or emo bands, but like, it could work, right? Yeah. And, I kind of I didn't plan it this way, but if you guys know the band Alcest, I almost have more of an idea of almost, it might sound like Alcest. I'm not trying to, it might end up sounding that way, that kind of dreamy, washy kind of stuff. And I think if I hand it over to one of my guitarists, they'll really know what to do with it. And there's a common thread to your work. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And a good friend of mine, Rick Massey, said that the other day. And I was so worried about that when writing the next album. I'm like, is this going to sound, I'm just writing what I feel. So I'm like, shit, what if this just sounds totally different? And then my friend Rick, who just released his own album, it's amazing. Check out Rick Massey Music. He just released an album called Eclipse. It's beautiful. I love what he writes. But he told me, there's a common thread. It sounds like Gates of the Morning. I was like, oh, cool. That's awesome. So that was pretty cool to hear, because, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just writing, it's fun. I'm having fun with this. So cool. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, okay. You know what I was supposed to do? I was supposed to go from that acoustic thing into a nice little piano thing. And then, yeah, let me also, I'll play the little piano thing. It's just really quick. It would have been better if I went straight into it, but let's play a little something. You'll recognize this tune from Return to Earth. In fact, it's the title track. So nothing too crazy, but it's a nice sounding melody. This chord progression was why I wrote the album. I wrote one riff. And I'll play it on guitar first really quick. I wrote one riff that inspired me, and I have the date too. It's like November 14th, 2017. And I said, you know what? I don't know what it is, but I'm going to write an album. But this riff is going to be the main thing, the climax of it, which it was. It's a simple riff. It's annoying for my guitarist to play because it's a big stretch, but... And then just a little story about that that I like to tell. I knew I wanted female vocals at that part for that song, and the engineer at the time, Kevin Antrisi, and he's done a lot of stuff. He was one of the more recent guitar players in Dillinger Escape Plan. He also did guitar tech for them and did guitar tech for the Deftones. He runs Backroom Studios in Rockaway, New Jersey. That's my home. I live there, basically. He said, "Oh, well, you're looking for female vocals." He said, "Well, I know just the person." And I said, "Okay, let's see." And it was Meg Moyer, and I listened to her husband was in a band called Burden from Philadelphia, and I heard her voice on record, and I said, "Okay, that sounds like it could work." Because I really had a particular voice in mind. So I don't know if I didn't find her. I don't know, because I was being really picky about it. She was just the perfect person for it. So, and I hope that we get to play a show with her, and I hope that she's on the next record. I'm optimistic that will happen. But anyway, so I'll play that on piano too. It's kind of a nice little melody. Yeah, so it's nice. I like a lot of it's like basically, if you're into music theory, it's like just like a 1-5-9 chord. So there's it's not major or minor. Well, then when it changes, it does shift to a major chord. But a lot of the chords I'm obsessed with are this chord. It's a big stretch if you're an E standard. When I shift it down a half step, that's quite a stretch. The root note, it becomes a major chord in inversion, but I love these chords. I abuse them, but I won't stop. So yeah, thank you guys. Cool. Yeah. So, and if you have any questions, I could, any requests, go ahead, throw it out there. What the hell? I'll try anything. I have a lot of new stuff. Like I said, I have about 50 minutes worth of new music, but yeah, some of it's not so organized. So at least it is in Apple Logic, but not in my brain. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything to close out, and not that we could take our time. I got nowhere to go. But if you have any requests or questions, feel free to ask anything at all. Like I said, look out for soon. We're going to do that Unplugged thing that we were. Oh, Matt, you're asking a question that keeps me up every night. I'll never know, because you know why? I just bit through them all. I never had the patience to actually like sit there, and I just bit through. I want to get right to like that quote from Mulholland Drive. Here's a man who wants to get right down to it. That was my kind of anxious to get down to it. Are you? That was my voicemail for a decade. I'm pretty sure I pissed a lot of people off because they tried calling me, and I wouldn't pick up. I'm still bad with my phone. And so they'd be calling me something really urgent, something important, and then the voicemail would be, "Well, here's a man who wants to get right down to it. Kind of anxious to get to it, are you?" And that would piss everybody off. I don't know how I got there from the Tootsie Pop, but that's a little stream of consciousness for you. Yeah, so we're gonna do a YouTube thing soon. We might do it live, but there might be too many variables for us to do it live. So we're gonna definitely do a YouTube Unplugged set, and we might do that more often. So I don't know. That's a whole nother like kind of thing that we might get into. I don't know how many. I don't know how many there's, like, I guess folk acoustic kind of shows. I don't know where I'd find gigs for that, but I'll be on the lookout, because I'd like to do that. I want to play as much music as possible. I feel like my time here on Earth is precious and limited, so I want to play as much music as possible in that time. So whether it's as a 5 or 6 piece black metal band or whatever we are, that's another thing. I'd like to know what genre we are. If you've listened to the album, please tell me, because I don't. Progressive black metal seems to be good. Post black metal. But yeah, so yeah, tell me what genre we are so I can properly classify myself. When I put out some paid ads, I put, we're a black metal band. People got pissed off. You're not a black metal band. And then I said, well, go listen to this song. I said, well, that song's black metal. So yeah, I don't know. I just like writing music. So yeah, so keep out an eye out for the YouTube stuff. We're gonna start being a little more active with that. We have a lot of black and folk. All right, that's cool. Yeah, I dig that. That's cool. We'll throw that in the pot too. So yeah, and we have a lot of live clips. If you guys are ever curious how we sound live, our Instagram, you might have to go back a little bit, but or in our stories. But we have a lot of clips of us playing live. If you're ever curious, and hopefully we get back to that really soon. I'm anxious, but I'm in writing mode, so it's all good right now. I'm going with the flow. So post black metal, yeah, post black metal. That Matt Bacon, I didn't even know what that meant until Matt Bacon told me what he said. You're post black metal. So okay, so that's what I started. So I started advertising us as. We're post black metal. What is And then I started to listen to that stuff because he told me, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, this makes sense. So yeah, so check it out. Keep your eyes posted. I'm gonna be busy until I drop that. I've been studying music and practicing for a long time, but now I'm finally at the stage where I'm playing and expressing and making, creating, and all that stuff. And that's where I've been. My whole 20s was kind of like an uphill battle, but it was for a reason. And I feel like I finally arrived at the place that I've been trying to get to for a while. So we'll be busy, and be putting out a ton of music, hopefully, and not hopefully, going to be putting out a ton of music. Dreamscape, yeah. There's dreamscape, ethereal kind of qualities. Good, you're making me happy. That's what I want. That's what I wanted you guys to say. Good. Yeah. So if you have any last questions before we wrap up, or if you want me, I'll do anything, whatever. Well, almost anything. If you want me to play anything or have any last questions, but look out for an Unplugged set and maybe more of that type of stuff, kind of dark folk stuff, I guess, it's basically just our songs that are on the record, but with an acoustic twist to it. So, and a new album or 2 or 3, because that's basically what I'm dealing with right now. I have too much material, which is a good problem to have. So, yeah, so cool. I'll leave it open for like another minute. And then if not, I'll let you guys go on with your Friday night. Freebird, oh man. Maybe. I'll play it on the drums for you. I'll play it on the drums for you. Yeah, spiritual, yeah. The themes are spiritual, and it's a good point. And I think a lot of people have like I don't want to say they're misunderstanding spirituality, but a lot of the times it's not all like nice, like, oh, you do yoga and you meditate and things like that, and it's like, well, yeah, I do that because I don't know if I'd be here if I didn't have that stuff. So spirituality is kind of like, yeah, I guess, and it's almost like, is there even a word for that? It's just kind of it's interwoven in everything we do, anger is spiritual. Happiness is spiritual. Everybody thinks of like the good side of spirituality, but a lot of what we talk about is, there's terms crossing the abyss, which is a Kabbalistic term for, you're kind of going through the chasm of, I call it the chasm of Thoth, which is Thoth is like, basically, I should be able to explain it better, but it's, for very much a lack of a better term, spiritual death or ego death, things like that. So we deal with a lot of that, and things that can be dealt with in meditation or in psychedelic states. Not that you don't need to do that, but kind of that aspect of spirituality. I was into so a big book that I recommend. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to recommend it to anybody, but it changed my life when I was 17. I kind of had a total mental collapse, and it was a good thing ultimately. But it was at the time it was very scary. And I stumbled upon this band, Arni, Aarni. Very interesting band. Check out the album Bathos. It's an amazing album. And Doth was a great band too. Yes, yeah, they were. But check out the band Arni, Aarni, Bathos. The other album was a little more of a novelty, but Bathos is amazing. And I was so stuck on that album, and I went to his website, and he had a recommended reading list, and Robert Anton Wilson's Prometheus Rising was on there, and that set me straight because I was in a what the fuck mode, like really like holy shit, should I medicate type of mode. And that book said, I was like, no, I'm good. So, you know, and he even says in the book, this book will eventually not be relevant at one point, and that's okay. But he said, but for me at the time, and this was in 2007, it was very relevant and maybe kind of saved my life in a way. And that's how I got into the occult, you know, so to speak, and occult, not a cult. Big difference. And studying yoga and meditation and all that stuff. So, and check out that band. I have a feeling if you guys like us, you'll like that band. Very cool stuff. Aarni, Bathos. So that changed my life, and reading Robert Anton Wilson was pretty awesome too. Prometheus Rising and then Cosmic Trigger as well was important for me. So I addressed all those topics and will continue to with this music. So it's you know, it's my vehicle really, as is it is for all musicians, I think. Cool. So if you guys have any other questions, let me know. But otherwise, we'll wrap up. And thank you, Heather, for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank all you guys for tuning in, and those who have tuned in. I appreciate it. And thank you, this community that I found through music over the last year and a half, 2 years has been amazing. So, and I love all you guys. Seriously, it's awesome. I found a whole community and an outlet for all this stuff. So, yeah, lots of love for all you guys. All right. So, with that being said, I'll give it another 30 seconds. And yeah, deep thinking music. And then, you know, I've seen Guar 10 times too, you know, so it doesn't have to all be, you know, deep too. You know, I love deep thinking music and stuff like that. And then I like going to see, you know, get pissed on by Guar. So, you know, that's as spiritual as anything, you know, that's spiritual too. I haven't seen Guar in a long time, but I've seen them probably close to 10 times. So love you, Heather. Thank you for having me. So thank you guys. I'll just wait another minute or so, or wait another 30 seconds, and then I'll sign out. So, and best of wishes to everybody throughout this time, whatever you're going through. I hope everybody's, you know, happy, safe, and healthy. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really a drummer, but I'm playing more guitar lately. So, all right, guys, and feel free to hit me up on Facebook or whatever. You can find me, my account. Feel free to hit me up with any questions. Follow Gates in the Morning if you want. You know, I'm always open for a good conversation, discussion. Thanks, Matt. All right. Love all you guys. I'm going to sign off. Thank you, Heather. And thank you all you guys. Awesome. Have a great Friday night. Now, how the hell do I end this thing? Oh, okay. All right. I see. All right. Peace, guys. Take it easy.